I've got plenty of those beautiful Fieldnotes pocket notebooks, and this didn't happen just randomly. I have a valid reason. I will prove it to you. As a medical student and later on a junior doctor, I always used to feel overwhelmed. Extremely big volume of information, patients' diagnostics, histories, details, some follow-ups, endless to-do list and pendings. It all felt like slipping through the cracks. As most of other doctors, we used to make some lists on a piece of paper, then we throw it away. But many times I find myself that I needed some older information. It's not always about a checklist. Sometimes you need a piece of information to be present with you for quite some time. So I wanted something more durable. This is why I'm making this video, because this changed my life. And today I'm gonna share with you how I use exactly the Fieldnotes and how they help me to stay on top of things with my patients and also with my day-to-day life. A few years ago, I found myself in a situation where a critical information was lost. No, don't worry, not the information about the patient, nor its EHR, but in my own brain. Obviously, my system was not working well, so I started downloading applications. This is the first thing we usually do. And I started taking notes on these applications, but I don't know why they never worked for long term. They either were too complex, needed some setups, or I don't know, I got lost in the process of downloading the application and inputting the information and so on and so forth. I need something concrete and simple, a pen and a paper, that's it. A system that I can rely on in the middle of a chaos, where the battery does not drain and the phone will not freeze. And the problem with the bigger notebooks is that they might not be very portable, although they are beautiful, and maybe they will defy the point of having something on the go. Very randomly one day I discovered the Fieldnotes in a grocery shop. In fact, here in Lebanon we don't find these brands in the bookstores, and there's no delivery of this brand here, as far as I know. So randomly there was this grocery shop, I don't know how, they had this. And I remember the first pack, it's a pack of 3, was this color, the black, very beautiful. So I took my first one with me to the hospital. For some reason, during the first week, I did not even write anything on it. I was carrying with me, but never writing anything. I think in the back of my mind, I was worried that I will mess up the aesthetic, or like every note should be written perfectly. But then one day I really needed to write a very important number. So that was the first time I used my first Fieldnotes. And then this is how I started using it more often without thinking about the aesthetics or anything else. And I can assure you, for the past 4 years I've been using these, that the tactile advantage is real. The act of writing by hand has been shown to improve memory and cognitive function. For me, I don't know, it feels much better. So personally, I have at least like 2 times during the day where I check my Fieldnotes and I use them. And occasionally there's an additional 3rd or 4th one. The first time, which is the most important, is before bedtime. This is where I plan the most important things that I should be doing the next day, because my day starts the night before. I usually write in just like 1 or 2 minutes what's the most important thing that I should be doing, and the thing that I am trying to procrastinate and I'm trying to avoid doing. Because usually this is the task that if I get it done, I will feel much better. And I think most of you know what I'm talking about here. There's always this one chore or one thing that should be done, but you're trying to avoid. Then the next morning, after I drive to the hospital and I sit down before starting the day, I again check my Fieldnotes and I add to this list of important things to do a couple of things that I should be accomplishing during this day. So mainly till now, it's only a to-do list. And then during the day, many times, there are things that you'd like to explore more. There are topics that you think that they might be interesting, but it's not the right time now to start searching about. So here I just take the Fieldnotes out. I write a couple of words about this topic so I can remember it later on. Another important way that I use the Fieldnotes in the hospital, there are sometimes you'd like to remember an extension to some office. I simply write it down. I don't know why. I feel that having it on a physical paper feels different than having it stored on your phone. As if I dedicate a whole page for this task and then I get done with it. And medically speaking, how I use the field notes to improve my knowledge during the rounds or during patient's encounter, sometimes you find that you have still gaps in your knowledge. Of course, I can check it on the go. I can open a website or an article and read about the topic very quickly. But what if I can dedicate like 20 minutes per night for this specific topic? So this weakness becomes my strength. This is why I intend to write the question or the topic that I would like to search about on my field notes. Now, for the mental clarity part, I have discovered something extremely important. I feel that having this pocket notebook with me, as if I have a companion where I can throw all my ideas that are burdening me, floating in my brain, I can simply dump them on a piece of paper, write them, so I can get rid of this burdening feeling. And this is important because I need my mind to be very clear and attentive, whether it's with an encounter with a patient, during a surgery, or even if I am reading or studying or preparing a presentation. And we all have our problems and worries, and there is something therapeutic about writing your ideas. So this gives me some peace of mind, reduce the mental clutter, which is very important to me, and gives me clarity. It's worth mentioning something that I usually don't do on field notes, which I found very common on the internet, is in fact I don't write something that I am grateful for or the gratitude or stuff like that. I don't know, maybe I should be doing that, but I don't use it too much for spiritual stuff. And this by no means reflects my opinion towards gratitude. Do we say gratitude or gratefulness? I think it's the same. And by the way, I think that being grateful is the single most important thing to carry on in this life in a positive way. But anyway, this is something else we'll talk about later. But it was worth mentioning, to be honest with you, what I write and what I don't do on my field notes. First of all, always keep it with you. You definitely don't have to have this brand, but you can have this size, this pocket notebook. It's easy to carry it with you everywhere. And when you start building this habit, you will start using it more and more. With time, you will find yourself making a lot of shorthands. And if someone reads your pages, probably they will never understand what you're trying to say. And this is something good because this is something personal. It's for you. So don't be afraid to personalize it. Something that I didn't mention in this video is that I have multiple field notes that I use at the same time. I personally don't do that, but I found many other YouTubers, they were preaching about it, and probably this works. It might work for you. They say that they have one for creative ideas, another one for to-do lists, so on and so forth. But personally, I simply put them all together, and from time to time, I simply skim through the pages and choose what I want to read and what I don't want. And this is the point that I like the most. I really like to read the past notes and the past pages. You really see the improvement. You really see the development of you as a person, your ideas first and how they are changing, your worries in the past and how they got resolved. It's really fascinating. Document your life. Don't be afraid. And definitely it goes without saying that field notes are not just for doctors. They are for everyone. Whether you are an entrepreneur, a student, an artist, a musician, a coach, anything. These are not just notebooks. They are a system. So benefit from it.